Hello and welcome to Tea is Good, Books Are Better, the podcast where we drink tea and talk about books. I'm Raven.
I'm Jessica.
What are we drinking today?
I'm drinking Tetley's Winter Spice, and it's apple cinnamon tea.
Was that the same thing you had last time?
I think last time I have Christmas tea?
Oh, yeah. It sounded similar, I guess. I don't know. Winter, Christmas, I lump it all together.
They're all Christmas teas, like little snowflakes on the boxes.
Of course.
Yeah. That's how they sell them.
Festive. I'll get in the spirit at some point.
It's still November.
Yeah.
No rush.
I think I was decorating by this time last year.
Same.
But, I don't know. I'm a little more hesitant this year. I'm not sure why.
Huh. I bet once you get your tree, you'll want to.
Jake wants to go chop down a real tree.
Oh, shit. Johnny and I were thinking about that, too. The one that's close by. There's, like, a tree farm.
Jake's family, it's, like, something that they do every year, but it didn't happen last year because of COVID.
Oh.
So, I think he'd be really excited to do that. And I think
that's adorable.
Yeah, they usually go to Alder Acres, I think.
Ooh.
Which is where we went to the pumpkin patch, me and Mackenzie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they had like a bunch of loose animals running around. It was amazing.
Wow.
Like farm animals, like little piglets running over your toes.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Best day of my life. Anyway. All right, so I'm drinking a black tea.
Nice.
It's from a company called Brook Bond. It's called Taj Mahal. So it's like an Indian black tea, I guess.
Ooh. This must have nice spices in there.
It looks a lot like chai.
Probably is. Isn't chai like a Middle Eastern tea? That means tea.
Chai just means tea. Yeah. So yeah, I get maybe it's like a style, I don't know. But it has like a little description on the side of the box that I wanted to read.
Oh.
Are you ready for this?
Go for it.
Okay, how do you say Taj? Is it Taj Mahal? Taj Mahal?
I think it's probably Taj.
Okay. The Taj Mahal experience begins the moment you taste your freshly prepared cup. It's the rich flavor that comes from specially selected tea leaves, and with that first sip, you will be saying, "Wattage." I don't know what that means.
Did you say Wattage?
Oh, yeah, I 100% said wattage. Just came out of nowhere.
You're like, whoa, what's going on here?
What just came out of me? Where did we leave off our characters in A Storm of Swords?
With Dany, Whitebeard is revealed to be Sir Barristan Selmy. He also finds out that Sir Jorah used to spy on her, sending her info back to King's Landing, so she exiles them both. Jaime meets with the rest of the White Cloaks one by one and gives them personalized tasks.
Chapter 71 is Daenerys. Dany sits in the Great Pyramid of Meereen. Apparently she conquered it off screen, so...
Boo!
I wonder how George decides when to show it and when not to show it.
Yeah.
I guess maybe it depends on whether Dany is actually doing something. Because in this one, she's just kind of sitting behind and, like, watching stuff go down. She's not really doing anything herself.
Yeah.
I guess it was kind of the same with Young Kai, right? Like, when she conquered Young Kai, it was, like, kind of a time jump, the way he wrote it.
Yeah.
But, what was the other one? What's the other one? The one that starts with A.
Astapor?
Yeah.
An Astapor.
But Astapor, we were like very much in the thicket with her.
I wonder if it's because she was in the thicket, whereas in the other two cities, she was just ordering, being queen, I guess.
Yeah, so that's my best guess. So, from her seat at the top of the Great Pyramid, she can see the whole city, and sometimes she feels like a god. But, okay. But she wonders if all gods feel so lonely. Interesting. She's thinking of herself as a god.
Yeah.
She thinks about the 7 gods of Westeros, though Viserys had told her that some septons say the 7 are only aspects of a single god, which she finds confusing.
Ooh.
So like the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit of Christianity.
Oh.
What is that called again?
The Holy Trinity?
Yeah. Good Lord.
It's been so long.
Haven't been to church in a long ass time. I just have like fart brain right now. Like I can't think.
Sure.
Dead brain. Miss Sunday serves Dany some duck eggs and dog sausage.
I was gonna say delicious, but then dog sausage. Whoa.
Like, I guess that means sausage made of dog meat?
Yup.
Dany has grown very fond of Miss Sunday. Ugh. I can't even pronounce anything today. How do you say Miss Sunday?
You had it right.
Miss Sunday.
Miss Sunday.
Miss Sunday.
Miss Sunday.
Miss Sunday. Okay.
Yes.
Dany hopes to one day see the fabled Isle of Nath, where Missandei is from. Dany promises to take her home one day, and she wonders if she had made the same promise to Jorah, would he still have sold her? Ooh. Her handmaids in Missandei help bathe and dress her, and Dany looks at herself in a polished glass afterwards, wondering if she looks like a conqueror. To her, she still looks like a little girl. A little girl who is a god now, apparently. They had taken Marine with sewer rats and a wooden cock in less than a day.
Oh, what?
Love that. Dany had commanded her captains to drive their ships ashore where they had taken the ships apart. Their masts became battering rams, and their hulls became mantlets, turtles, catapults, and ladders. And I was genuinely surprised and impressed by this. Like, that's very resourceful. It was a huge problem in her last chapter. They didn't have, like, anything to take the city with.
Nuh-uh.
So she ordered them to take the ships apart. And I'm like, okay, you have no ships now, but you did what you wanted. You just
Yeah.
very
she
resourceful.
chose the city over the ships, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, she knew that, like, with the wealth of the city, she would be able to buy 1 million more ships, I'm guessing.
True.
This tea is nice.
Same.
I am a big fan of
Tea.
just like Indian tea, Persian tea, Iranian tea.
Same.
It's just
I
like,
wonder what's in it that's different from other black teas that makes it so good. Like, what is it that spice?
maybe it's just like more pure. There's like less shit in it. I don't know. I'm just making shit up, but it's just very like hearty, I think I would say.
Mm-hmm.
It fuels the soul.
Like, I feel like there's a certain spice in them that separates it from other teas, other black teas.
Definitely possible.
But I've yet to figure it out. I mean, a simple Google search I'm sure would help, but I don't feel like it.
I'm like looking for ingredients. Orange Pico black tea. So
That is it?
That's it. It's just
What?
pure tea,
The
dude.
hell?
Just pure tea. I think it just depends on the plant and the leaves that they pick.
True.
Cause like I've drank a bunch of other tea where the ingredient is only like black tea.
Yeah.
And like they don't all taste the same, so it has to depend on the conditions of the plant, I guess.
Sure. Or like, soil
Mm-hmm.
where it grew. I guess will affect
How it was dried. I don't know. I don't know how you make tea. This is all guesses. Okay, back to Storm of Swords. Dany had wanted to lead the attack herself, but was told by all her captains that was madness.
It's hysterical.
Yeah, and her captains, like, never all agree on anything, but on this they were all like, that's psychotic. So she had stayed in the rear and heard the city fall from half a league away. She knew her sewer rats had gnawed off the slaves' chains.
Shit.
When the last resistance had been crushed by the Unsullied and the sack had run its course, Dany entered her city. She rode past mountains of dead, burning buildings, and cheering slaves calling her mother. The Meereenese were huddled in the plaza before the Great Pyramid. Dany demanded their leaders if they wanted to be spared. 163 of them, to be exact. So I guess that's the number of dead children that had, like, been along the path towards Meereen.
Oh.
But I'm like, hold on, who are the Meereenese then, quote unquote, if it's not, like, everyone who lives in Meereen?
The nobles.
Just the nobles? Okay, so then who are the leaders? And how is there 163 leaders?
Maybe it's like a government body. There's lots of them.
Okay. It's
Big
just
city,
yeah.
Lots of leaders.
It's just not very clear.
No.
Anyway, once all these leaders, I guess, were betrayed, Dany had nailed them to wooden posts around the plaza, each man pointing to the next. She was furious when she gave the command, but afterwards kind of became disturbed by the sight, smell, and sound of them dying afterwards. Even now, she's trying to convince herself that what she did was just. Which is very, very interesting. What do you think? Do you think they deserve that?
No, I think if you have to question it, then it probably isn't.
That's a really good point.
To do something like that horrible to someone and then you're like second guessing yourself, I think that's pretty terrible.
They did do this to a bunch of innocent children, though.
They did.
So, like, what do they deserve? What is fair?
Be put to death. But not that way.
Okay, just dead.
Maybe a beheading or hanging. But this crucifixion is not cool. It's terrible. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of torture.
Yeah.
Prolonged suffering for death.
But just playing devil's advocate, I guess. If they think they did this to children,
True.
And it's horrible and it's disgusting, and, like, they did it anyway. It's torture. They did it to children. And now, how is it not fair to do it to them? The exact same thing. Is it not justified?
I think it was disgusting what they did. And I think it's disgusting to do it again. It's just gross.
Yeah, I think maybe that's where the concerning part lies, is that someone else, in order for it to happen to them, someone has to do it to them. And then does that person deserve it too?
It's like an endless circle of an eye for an eye, an eye for an eye, an eye for an eye.
Yeah.
Like, is that justice? Or is it revenge at this point?
Good point.
To me, crucifixion isn't justice. It's just torture for sadists, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who likes that? No one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even Dany is disturbed.
That at least, I mean, she did it, but I do think it says something about her character that she does end up disturbed by it and questioning whether it was just. So, she may have been mad. She may have been, like, a little monstrous.
Yeah.
In that moment, but I mean, so far, as a person overall, if she's questioning it, I think we can still forgive her.
Yeah. She's still a baby.
Yeah, true. Learning how to lead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As for the Great Pyramid, Dany had refused to sit in the Harpy throne in the audience chamber, where she's arriving now. She had replaced it with a simple ebony bench, though she had heard the Meereenese muttering that it did not befit a queen. Her blood riders, Grey Worm, Brown Ben Plum, and Daario, are waiting for her in the chamber. Dany looks them over, and her handmaids in Missandei, and wonders which will betray her next.
Wow.
Yeah, I think she's a little paranoid now.
Yeah.
Which, fair.
True.
She reminds herself the dragon has 3 heads. There are 2 men in the world she can trust if she can find them. Then she will not be alone. It will be 3 against the world, like Aegon and his sisters. So she's like, it's in her plan to kind of have 2 husbands, I guess. What, you don't think that's...
I want to see that. You know, there's a man out there with multiple wives. I want to see a woman with multiple husbands.
Yeah.
That would be pretty sick.
I mean, apparently it's a Targaryen thing. The dragon has 3 heads or whatever.
Probably for the sons to have multiple wives.
Oh, yeah.
Or like multiple sister wives.
Yeah.
But
true,
that would be a first for Dany if she were to take multiple husbands. A first in maybe Westerosi history.
Okay. Brown Ben Plum informs Dany that the night was quiet, which pleases her. The city had been sacked savagely, but Dany wanted that to end now that the city is hers. She had determined all murderers were to be hanged, looters to lose a hand, and rapists their manhood. 8 killers hang from the walls now, and the Unsullied had filled a bushel basket with bloody hands and soft red worms. Yuck.
Okay.
First, Dany wants to be rid of the corpses and asks Grey Worm to see to it. Brown Ben suggests getting rid of the ones on poles in the plaza as well, as they are basically falling apart at this point.
Nasty.
Like, flesh sloughing off their bones.
What? Those fucking stink, too.
Ew. Dany remembers the horror she felt when she saw the Plaza of Punishment in Astapor. I genuinely don't remember what was there, though.
Me neither.
Shit. I was counting on you to tell me.
Oh, that's hard.
I think we can imagine.
There are probably people strung up.
Yeah.
To die.
Yeah. And she knows now she made a horror just as great. But surely they deserved it. Harsh justice is still justice, right?
Keep telling yourself that.
Dany does allow their bones to be cleaned and return to their kin for a proper burial, at Missandei's suggestion.
Okay.
2 seek Dany's audience this morning. Daario tells her they arrived on a trading galley out of Karth in the night. One is the galley's master, and the other claims to speak for Astapor. And Dany wants to see the envoy from Astapor first. He enters the chamber, introducing himself as Gale, I think. Ghael. Gale.
It's like Gale.
Okay. He brings greetings from King Cleon of Astapor. Dany's like, what?
Yeah.
She left a council to rule Astapor. Gale explains that they betrayed her trust and were scheming to restore the good masters to power and the people to chains. But Great Cleon defeated them and the people crowned him. So this sounds super sus to me. I don't know about you.
It's totally sus.
But I am not believing a word he's saying.
Me neither.
About how he became a king.
They overthrew him. They totally did.
Right? Like, that would be my guess. These people are just, I don't know, psycho.
Yeah.
Missandei recognizes the name Cleon and tells Dany he was once a slave owned by Grazdan Mo Olor, which was one of the good masters, I guess. And Cleon worked in the kitchen as a butcher. It was said he could slaughter a pig faster than any man in Astapor. Dany feels ill that she has given Astapor a butcher king. But Dany says she prays he rules well and wisely. So she's like, I guess kind of on board, although like doesn't feel great about it. But at the same time, I was wondering, if she's the queen, shouldn't she be not okay with someone else calling himself a king? Like he's on an equal level to her?
True. But what is she gonna do? She can't really abandon Marine.
But like, she doesn't even really think about it.
Huh.
And I remember when Balon Greyjoy, during Robert's rule, was calling himself a king, Robert sent Ned to go fucking shut him down real quick. And I'm like, Dany, this guy's calling himself a king.
Aw.
I don't know, it's just interesting. Gale was sent with a message. He proposes a pact between Astapor and Meereen against Yunkai. Gale says the Yunkai cannot be trusted and are plotting against her. They are building new war machines and have sent envoys to the west to make alliances and hire sellswords, and have even sent riders to Vaes Dothrak to bring a Khalasar down upon Dany. Cleon offers to seal their alliance with a marriage. Dany is taken aback as Gale says Cleon will give her many strong sons. Missandei asks if his first wife gave him sons. And I'm like, whoa, is this a clapback from Missandei? Nice. Hey. Gale seems unhappy with the question. He says Cleon has 3 daughters by his first wife, and 2 of his newer wives are with child. But he will put them all aside if the Mother of Dragons will consent to wed him. Dany says she will consider all he said and dismisses him. She thinks that all her victories are turning sour. She is just making death and horror. When word of what befell Astapor reaches the streets, tens of thousands of the newly freed Meereenese will want to follow her west for fear of what awaited them if they stayed, and there was no way she could keep them all fed. She starts to think of all the warnings Jorah had given her, but stops herself. Okay, so what do you think about Yunkai? Do you think they're plotting against Dany, or do you think this is more bullshit coming from Gale?
Gale is from Yunkai?
Gale is from Yastapor. Yastapor?
Yastapor.
He's from Yastapor. He's from Astapor, proposing a pact between Astapor and Meereen against Yunkai.
I think it's entirely possible both Astapor and the Yunkai have rebelled now that she's gone. Because who the hell, she's trusting some randos to hold the city when it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah.
At all. Like, you can't put servants or slaves in charge of the city and expect the masters to submit.
That's true. Things are just gonna go right back to normal.
Yeah.
And that would be so interesting if Astapor and Yunkai are actually, like, have a pact with each other against Dany.
Yeah. I think the 3 of them may have pacts, but since Dany is in Meereen, the other 2 are the only ones that can really scheme.
Right.
So the 3 great slave cities, I would think the 3 of them would be in cahoots.
Yeah. They definitely have, like, an alliance to a certain degree, but I think probably also, like, they all have their own slaves that they're trying to sell, so there's probably some, like, competitiveness there as well.
True.
Let's see. Dany sees the trader captain next. When asked about Astapor, he says the city bleeds. Dead men rot in the streets, the markets have nothing for sale, and every high-born boy has been seized to make new Unsullied for trade.
Oh, wow.
Yeesh. Okay. Dany knows it will be the same once she leaves Meereen. The slaves from the fighting pits are already being unruly, thinking they own the city. 2 of them had been amongst the 8 she hanged. The Carthene captain says he comes to trade for slaves, but Dany tells him they have no slaves for sale. Daario steps forward and tells her that many Meereenese are begging leave to sell themselves as slaves to this Carthene. Dany is shocked, but Daario tells her that the ones who come are well-spoken and gently born, and will be prized in the free cities. They will be tutors, scribes, bed slaves, even healers and priests. They will sleep in soft beds, eat rich foods, and dwell in manses. Here they have lost all and live in fear.
Yeah.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Dany, she sees the sense in it as well. She then decrees that any man or woman who wishes to sell themselves into slavery may do so, but they may not sell their children, nor a man his wife. Missandei mentions that in Astapor, the city took 1/10 of the price each time a slave changed hands, and Dany says they will do the same. Wars are won with gold as much as swords, after all. But she commands that records must be kept, or else she knows half the gold would go astray.
Oh.
Big brain.
Mm-hmm.
When the captain leaves, Dany tells Belwas to bring her knights. She has been dreading this moment. Sir Barristan and Sir Jorah enter, led by Belwas. Jorah starts to speak, but Dany stops him, despite how much she has missed his voice. She says that when she sent him into the sewers, part of her had wished it was the last she would see of him. She admits...
Harsh.
Yeah, well, I think she
True.
just, like, yeah, it would be, like, an easy out. She wouldn't have to have this conversation. She admits that they helped her win this city. But then Jorah is like, we won you this city. And I'm like, what the fuck? Is he arguing with her?
He is, my gosh.
What is wrong with you?
He's very pissed. Get on your knees.
Oh my god. Trust, it just gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
She silences him again, though there is truth to what he said. While the rams were battering the gates and archers firing arrows over the walls, Dany sent 200 men along the river under cover of darkness to light the ships in the harbor. As they burned, drawing the eyes of the defenders on the walls, a few swimmers found the sewer mouths and removed the grates. Sir Jorah, Sir Barristan, Belwas, and 20 others slipped into the sewers. They got into the fighting pits, struck the chains off the slaves, and then had half the fighting slaves in Meereen with them.
Smart.
Yeah. Like, really clever.
Mm-hmm.
Dany says Jorah and Barristan have both served her well in the past, but both lied to her and betrayed her. She asks Sir Barristan why he abandoned Viserys and bent the knee to the usurper. Sir Barristan admits that Robert was a good knight and spared many lives. Viserys, however, was only a boy and was more like his father than Rhaegar. His father, the Mad King. Dany says that title was a lie, but Sir Barristan calls her out, saying she asked for the truth, but closes her ears to it now. He continues, saying after he left Westeros, he wanted to watch her for a time before pledging his sword, to make certain she was not her father's daughter. He sees no taint in her. Dany bristles at this. Sir Barristan continues, explaining that the Targaryens have always danced too close to madness. Makes sense with the inbreeding.
Yeah.
Dany tests him with a few more questions about his loyalty before deciding to forgive him. She gives him Ben's longsword and has him swear his service. Then she turns to Jorah and asks for the truth. Jorah starts by reminding her of all his warnings against Whitebeard, Xaro, Pyat, but Dany says he forgot to warn her against himself, and she is angry, like thinking he should be humbler and begging her forgiveness. And I'm the same. I'm like, Jorah, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
I was like pretty pissed at him while reading this.
Right.
What a fucking idiot.
He is.
They argue about Jorah's actions, and it's revealed the last time he reported on her was from Karth! From fucking Karth! Which is way more recent than Dany had hoped, and I was also shocked.
Yeah, I'm shocked I didn't catch that part. My
Fucking
god.
Karth, dude!
My god, and that lady, like, freaking warned him.
Wait, which lady?
That lady with the mask.
Oh.
Who, like, gave, like, secret, like, thing. They said secret things to him. Like, you're not gonna betray her again, are you? Like, all that shit.
Wait, was that
freaking... That was in Karth!
Was that in the book as well, or is that just the show?
I think she was in the book, but I don't recall exactly what she said to him.
Yeah.
But gosh darn. I didn't realize he was still ratting on her in freaking Karth.
Yeah, I thought he was, like, way done with that shit.
Yeah.
I thought it was, like, back in... Oh, what was that place where she almost got poisoned?
Vase to Thrak.
I literally thought it was after that he was done.
Yeah, me too. I'm shook.
What the fuck?
This dumbass, he deserves what's coming to him.
Dany continues to throw accusations at him, and Jorah continues to defend himself.
Shut up.
He's basically just, like, deflecting the whole time.
Yeah.
Eventually he says he never meant to hurt her, and she must forgive him.
Gross. Fuck off.
He says she must forgive him.
No sympathy is where it's coming.
Yeah, so Dany, as soon as she hears that, she knows she can't forgive him.
Good.
Yeah, Jorah. What the fuck?
Fuck. Like, who do you think you are?
Like, if he had just admitted that everything he did was scummy and shitty, and, like, he begs for her forgiveness, she would have forgiven him.
Pretty sure she would have.
She wants to forgive him. He's just making it impossible.
It's dumb fuck.
All he's doing is saying, I was protecting you from harm. And if I wasn't reporting on you, someone else would have just done it.
Shut up.
Are you fucking serious, dude?
Shut.
He seems to think that because he changed his mind and stopped doing it, like, everything's okay now. What a fucking dick. Dany tells Jorah she can't forgive him, and she says... Dany tells Jorah...
So long, sucker.
She can't forgive him. Not quite. She says, I can't forgive you, Jorah. And he's like, you forgive the old man. Or you forgave the old man.
So dumb.
What
Oh my God. You make me so mad.
Yeah. He thinks that their transgressions were on the same level.
Oh my God.
What the fuck? I'm genuinely like, who do you think you are?
Right.
Dany says Barristan lied about his name. Jorah sold her secrets to the men who killed her father. Pretty big difference there, bud.
Duh.
Jorah starts listing off all the things he's done for her and finishes by saying he loves her.
Ew.
Dany remembers the 3 treasons she was told she would bear. Once for blood, once for gold, and once for love. What was the first one that she experienced with the witch lady?
What the prophecy was?
Yeah, like she...
What were the betrayals?
Once for blood, once for gold, and once for love.
I think that was blood.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is for love. Right? Yeah. There's no gold involved here.
Who betrayed her for gold?
Has that happened yet?
I don't know.
I don't think she's been betrayed for gold yet. I think that one's still on the horizon. Anyway, so Dany banishes Jorah.
Good riddance. Dumb fuck.
But he won't leave on his own, so she has to get Belwas to drag him out.
Good. Humiliate him.
Bruh.
Idiot.
That evening, Dany tries to read the book that Jorah had gifted her at her wedding, but keeps thinking that a real queen would either have kept him or killed him. She thinks that she was, like, being weak by banishing him.
Oh.
She steps outside to watch her dragons for a bit. Viserion is out over the river, and it makes her anxious that they're getting bolder and venturing farther and farther away. She thinks that one day, one of them may not return. Foreshadowing. Sir Barristan visits, saying that her father's secrets belong to her now, so he thought she may have questions for him. And Dany's like, what? Yeah, I have 1,000 questions. But the first one she thinks to ask is if her father was truly mad.
Yeah. Fucking go.
I mean...
Is that what he said?
Well, I think he's a little more kind in his answer. He says her father always had a little madness in him, but he was charming and generous as well, so his lapses were forgiven. With time, though, the lapses grew more and more frequent and became less easy to ignore.
It was really kind.
Yeah. It's really kind. Barristan is he's a good knight. Dany decides she doesn't want to hear this now. The old knight says he will tell her all when she's ready, and she sends him on his way. When it's time for sleep, Dany takes Eerie into her bed and pretends it's Drogo. She has a restless sleep. She gets up before dawn and looks out at the city. Missandei joins her, asking if she's well. Dany tells her to never betray her, and Missandei promises. That morning, she summons her captains and commanders to her garden, where she says that all she has brought to Slaver's Bay is death and ruin. She has been more Cal than Queen. They try to defend her to herself, as she wonders if she's mad like her father. Dany asks how she can rule the 7 kingdoms if she cannot rule a single city. She says her children need time to heal and her dragons time to grow. She says she will not march. She is going to stay, rule, and be queen. And that is the end of that chapter. And I suspect a big time jump before we see her again in the next book.
I don't think she's in the next book at all.
I'm sorry, what?
Yep. There's a book where she's not in at all.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope.
Huh.
I'm not.
Huh. Huh. Huh.
We starved of Dany.
What? Huh?
It's gonna be a huge time jump.
Wait, she's
When
not
we get
in a
back to
whole
her.
book? What the fuck?
She's not in a whole book. Man, I was just as horrified when I learned. I was like, what? No. I love her. She's like a nice breather. Like refresher from freaking Westeros.
Yeah, like what Eric was saying in
Yeah.
the last mini episode we did. Bruh. A whole book?
A whole fat book.
I can't.
Right?
This is
It's gonna be
bullshit.
really weird. It's gonna be really weird.
How the fuck did he write a whole book and not include a single Dany chapter? How did he how did he even do that?
Why would he do? I want to know why. Why do you hate her so much? That you would skip her like this? How dare you?
Bruh. There's probably fuck.
Better freaking bring it in the next book that she's in.
Yeah.
Make up for that bullshit.
Better be some boss ass shit going on.
Yeah. Maybe he wanted the dragons to grow some.
Yeah.
Even then, like, I care more about Dany than the dragon. I don't know what Dany's doing.
Yeah, like, I want to know what kind of problems she's coming across and how she's, like, dealing with them and, like, how she's growing as a leader. Like, I want to see it. I don't want to just jump ahead.
Yeah. And then, I don't even know what's gonna happen. Like, is Tyrion gonna stay in Westeros? Like, compared to the show? Like, what is going on? Like, we're gonna get Tyrion chapters?
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure we are.
I guess we'll have to see. The next one's gonna be interesting, that's for sure. Hey everyone, just a quick aside. We just became affiliates of Buzzsprout, which is the hosting platform we use for our podcast. If you are interested in creating your own podcast, please consider using Buzzsprout. It made it easy to get our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and dozens of other streaming platforms. They also provide you with a podcast website, detailed analytics to see how your episodes are performing, and tons of guides on how to improve your listenability. And if you follow our link in the episode description, you will get a $20 Amazon gift card when you sign up for a paid plan, and it helps support our show. Thank you! Back to the episode. I guess we're moving on to Jaime.
Jaime Lannister.
Chapter 72.
Ooh. Jaime is watching as Tommen signs documents that include stripping Edmure Tully and the Blackfish of Riverrun in the Riverlands.
Ooh.
Jaime is bored and he's sore. He's been training his left hand in swordsmanship with Sir Adam Marbrand. He's known Sir Adam since he was a kid at Casterly Rock, and the only person he trusts to keep it a secret.
Keep what a secret?
Different from the show. That he's shit at fighting.
Oh.
He can't let anyone know.
Yeah.
He has a reputation. In
Wait.
the books, it was Bronn who trained him.
In the show.
Sorry, in the show. It was Bronn who trained him.
Right.
But Bronn is gone in the books now.
No!
That's it.
Bronn,
Adios.
no.
He's having kids with lollies. Poor Lolly.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Jaime had gotten his ass kicked. It seems he has not anticipated having to completely relearn everything he knows on how to fight.
Yeah, like, I've kind of had this thing, like, sometimes I, like, feel like trying to use my left hand for a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And I felt like I really related to Jaime when he's, like, feels like he's not even able to hold it properly with his left hand. Like, he could, of course he can't fight with it, but he can barely even hold it.
No, he can't hold it. He can't hold a sword properly.
Yeah, and I'm like the same. Like, everything just feels so wrong.
Yeah. You have to completely relearn everything. Forget what you know. You start from scratch.
It almost feels like you're puppeteering your own arm instead of actually using it, you know?
Yup. I get that.
Uh,
Oh, that's funny. Tommen is signing documents now that name Sir Aemon? Yeah. Sir Aemon Frey, Lord of Riverrun, and a decree of legitimacy for Roose Bolton's bastard, and a bunch of pardons.
Do we know who Emmon is? Did we meet him?
I do not remember him. It's a good possibility we did meet him.
It sounds familiar.
Maybe he's one of the older sons of Lord Frey.
Okay.
Maybe the second oldest, because the oldest will get twins. Second oldest gets Riverrun.
That makes sense.
Anyways, Jaime has enough and he excuses himself. Outside, a guy named Steelshanks and his envoy are getting ready to head back to Lord Bolton. A young girl is with them, claiming to be Arya Stark, but Jaime thinks that she looks older than Arya should be. She tells Jaime about her upcoming marriage to Ramsay Bolton, but he notices that her voice sounds frightened. She seems enthusiastic in what she's saying, but her voice kind of like trembles or something. Jaime thinks that the real Arya Stark is somewhere dead in Flea Bottom, and that this girl is clearly a fake. But that's none of his business, so he thinks nothing of it.
I mean, as long as you can convince the people you're sending her to.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, even they don't even really have to believe that it's actually her.
No.
As long as the kingdom does.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
There is still a dark splotch on the ground where the stable boy Sir Gregor Clegane almost beheaded was killed. He thinks about how it was the Kingsguard's job to keep the crowd at bay, but dumb fuck Sir Boros got too distracted by the fight and let them get too close. Sir Gregor is still alive and can be heard screaming day and night while being worked on by Grand Maester Pycelle. Pycelle hasn't been able to figure out the poison Oberyn used, so the mountain has been dying a slow and agonizing death.
Ooh. Oh no.
Oh no. Tywin, though, wants Sir Gregor alive so that he can keep the peace with Sunspear by putting him to death himself. So Pycelle has been working tirelessly to keep him alive.
Keep him alive just to kill him later.
Yeah. Jaime returns to the White Sword Tower, where Sir Boros and Sir Balon are sleeping in preparation for their night shift. He finds Cersei waiting for him in his bedchambers. Cersei has tears in her eyes as she tells Jaime that their father is preventing her from attending the small council meetings, and asks if Jaime can talk to him for her. She tells him that their father is sending her back to Casterly Rock to separate her from Tommen, who still needs her, and she is horrified that her baby boy is going to be marrying Marjorie, a woman twice his age.
Yeah, literally, she's like 16, he's 8.
Yeah, he's a freaking kid.
So fucking weird.
Jaime has no problem with any of that. Cersei reminds him that Tommen is his son, and Jaime says that he may be his sire, but he's not his father. What is that saying? Like,
Wait, what?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Uh-huh.
The second film, the blue guy says to the main character guy, like, he may have been your father, but he's not your daddy.
Oh!
That's what that just reminded.
Yeah. He may be your father, but he's not your daddy. Oh, that's so funny.
I saw that recently anyways. I'm like, I'm watching the Marvel films in order. Because I have not seen the majority of them.
Wait, what?
Yep.
Wait, I feel like we've talked about this briefly before.
I was not a big fan of Marvel at all. Kind of didn't like them at all.
Wait, but is that changing now, or are you just forcing yourself through them?
Oh, it changed. I started by forcing myself through them, but I'm really enjoying them now.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk more about this after.
Jaime tells her that he wishes that he had killed King Robert instead of her, so that he can take her as his bride before the Seven Kingdoms.
Ew.
He says he's not ashamed of loving her, but of the things he's done to hide it, and he brings up Bran Stark. Jaime tells her that Catelyn had mentioned a cutthroat, who was sent after Bran, and he asks about the dagger. She tells him that Tyrion asked her about that as well, but she didn't do it. Jaime asks if Joffrey did it, and asks perhaps if Tyrion found this out, maybe that's why he killed him. But Cersei isn't gonna freak why, and tells Jaime how terrible his death was, before telling him that Tommen is all she has left now. Jaime says that Tywin will not talk to him, but Cersei tells him that if he agrees to leave the Kingsguard, he will.
Huh?
Yeah, Cersei is telling him to leave the Kingsguard to get their father on her side.
The fuck?
To get their father to let Cersei stay.
Yeah, because that's what Tywin wanted originally. He wanted to send Jaime back to Casterly Rock, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Cersei just wants to be with her son. Cersei fights back tears as she tells Jaime that he is her shining knight in armor, and that their father is going to force her to wed again, and he is the only man she wants. Jaime tells her to tell Tywin that herself, and she becomes enraged. That they are not Targaryens, and their union will destroy their house, and that they have to look at the bigger picture here. Jaime has to tell her to be quiet, or she'll wake his sleeping brothers, because she's like shouting now. She starts to sob, and she says that she'll prove to him that she wants him, and starts to undo his pants. But he cannot in the White Tower, and stops her. At first, she's hurt, and then she gets angry. She asks if it was his hand that was cut off, or his dick. She says that she shouldn't have come to ask for help for Tommen when he lacked the courage to avenge Joffrey's death. Meaning, like, when he refused to kill Tyrion.
Was he supposed to do that on the spot? What the fuck?
Yeah, she wanted him to. She wanted him to sneak into the dungeons, I guess, and kill him.
Fucking pussy, do it yourself. Honestly, what the hell?
Jaime tells her that he is still not convinced that Tyrion killed Joffrey. And he, like,
wrong thing to say, Jaime.
He tells her that Tyrion swore that he didn't kill Joff. So I'm wondering if, like, he actually went to visit Tyrion sometime in the chapters that we missed. Like, not chapters that we missed, but, like, it wasn't mentioned in any of the chapters. But I wonder if he visited Tyrion.
It's possible. My guess would be no, though, because I feel like that would be a pretty significant moment to include. And he could just be getting that information from the trial.
True.
But it's possible. It's not unlike George to skip over important moments, so.
Exactly. She spews more vile things until Jaime tells her to leave as she is pissing him off. She tells him that she's not afraid of cripples and says that it's a pity that she was born without a cock, or she would have been the son that Tywin wanted.
Okay.
After she leaves, he sadly thinks that he's lost his hand, his father, his sister, and soon his brother. It doesn't seem like the Lannisters have won the war.
I am glad with the way their relationship is going, though.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up.
Him and Cersei, like, yeah, let's... you guys can fight all day, and I'll be pleased with that.
Down in the common room, Jaime finds Sir Boros drinking wine. Jaime orders him to find Sir Loras and to bring him her. Ooh.
Her.
I think Boros must have heard the fight, because it's mentioned that he was too cowardly to do more than glower. So I wonder if Jaime knows that he heard, but he was too much of a coward to say anything.
Oh. Possibly.
When Sir Loras...
Say what now?
I wrote Sir Loras. Okay. When Sir Loras arrives with Brienne, Jaime asks if he's had his talk with her. Loras says that he has, but is still uncertain about ghosts. But he's accepting Brienne's version of events.
Yay! She must be very convincing, because he was...
Dead set.
Convinced that she killed Renly.
Yeah. Jaime dismisses Loras and he turns to Brienne. They awkwardly compliment each other's appearance.
What?
Like, cause he's put meat on his bones, and
I guess she's like, you're looking healthy.
Yeah, like she's wearing a fitting dress that actually fits her frame.
Okay.
He thinks she looks redonkulous. But I remember, like, there's a piece where he thinks that her eyes are astonishing.
Oh yeah, I remember that too.
Oh.
Ooh.
Brienne asks if it's true what he said to Loras about believing her and saying that she's honorable. Jaime reminds her that he is a kingslayer and that she shouldn't respect what he says. Oh,
Okay, dude.
yikes. He tells her that Steelshanks is bringing an Arya impersonator to Roose Bolton, and that he's telling her so that she wouldn't charge after them in an effort to save the girl.
Wow, Jaime, the homie.
Yeah. Brienne asks what will happen if Bolton learns that his father sold him a fake. But Jaime says that he knows and it doesn't matter. No one will question the imposter, as she is the key to Winterfell now that Sansa is missing.
Right.
Brienne asks why would he betray his father's secrets. And Jaime tells her that a Lannister always pays his debts and reminds her that he made a promise to Catelyn as well. He says, yeah, Jaime seems like really honorable these days.
Yeah.
Less douchey.
I have a theory as to why, but we'll get to that later. Finish up first.
Aight. He says Tyrion might know where Sansa is, but he isn't saying shit. Brienne refuses to believe that Sansa had any part in Joffrey's murder, but realizes that Jaime doesn't believe Tyrion did it. Jaime tells her that he believes that it was Sansa and Tyrion is stubbornly protecting her.
What the? Okay.
Fascinating. Jaime has a gift for her, and he pulls out the sword Tywin gave him. She is shocked when she sees that it's Valyrian steel, because that's like rare shit.
Ooh.
He tells her it's wasted on him, and that it should be named Oathkeeper. He tells her taking the blade comes with a price. She starts to get angry and argue, thinking that Jaime wants her to kill Sansa. But Jaime tells her to shut up and that he wants her to defend Sansa with it. He says that the blade was melted down from ice, Ned's dark sword, so it will make sense to protect his daughter with it. She tries to apologize for her assumption, but Jaime cuts her off and tells her about a horse that she can take and tells her to go.
I'm a motherfucking cry, dude. What the hell?
She swears that she will find Sansa and keep her oath and leaves. Alone, he decides to fill in his page with the childish scrawl of his left hand. I actually put the page because I liked what he wrote. He wrote, in continuation of his page, defeated in the Whispering Wood by the young wolf, Robb Stark, during the War of the Five Kings. Held captive at River Run and ransomed for a promise unfulfilled. Captured again by the brave companions and maimed at the word of Vargolhope, their captain. Losing his sword hand to the blade of Zolo the Fat. Oh man, I did not realize his name was Zolo the Fat. Okay.
Was that actually what he was called, or is this just a diss by Jaime?
That would be hysterical that he put a diss in this book.
Yeah. So I don't remember that title.
Man, okay. Returned safely to King's Landing by Brienne, the Maid of Tarth.
The Maid of Tarth.
As he sits there pondering, he thinks that he can write down whatever he wants. Bum, bum, bum. And that's that.
He's realizing the course of his life is in his own hands.
Oh shit!
Hand, singular.
Dude.
What?
That's a pretty good thing. Pretty, I think, foreshadowing. That he's realizing the course of his life is in his hands. Dude! Sure is.
I think that's what that means, because he's like, I can write anything in here.
Oh, wow.
So he can
I was kind of confused when I read that.
Oh, yeah. He can choose the direction of his life.
Damn, especially now that he's being disowned. He doesn't have...
There's nothing keeping him here anymore. Cersei's fucking pissed at him. His dad's pissed at him, disowned him. Tyrion's gonna be dead.
And he's the commander of the Kingsguard, but he's just thinking any moment now he's gonna be found out that he can't fight worth shit, and he'll be kicked out.
Yeah.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what were you gonna say about Jaime? His change.
Oh, yeah. I think... I don't really know how to speak on this because I have like mush brain right now. So it's obviously like complex, but I think it's because of Brienne. I think she is everything that she shouldn't be. She defies all expectations. And I think it's making him see what's possible. And I think the fact that he has come to know her to some degree and respect her is huge. Like, he couldn't even help it coming to respect her the way that he does. And I feel like it's just changing his view on things. Like, the old Jaime would never respect someone like Brienne, but
Yeah.
now it's like
Brilliant.
she is, you know, she's
she
dope as fuck. So
she definitely humbled him by being better than him at like combat and all that shit. Like,
that was a big part of it.
I wonder if he even believes that even if he had his right hand, if he'd be able to take her on. Maybe
they fought when he did have his right hand, and he lost.
They did.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
He lost hard. She was drowning his ass in the river.
Bruh, like, no wonder there is a respect for her.
Yeah. And I feel like it's also, I mean, this is obvious, but the fact that she is a woman. Like, he thought that, you know, only 3 men could ever take him on in battle. But the fact that she was able to, and is a woman.
Yep.
And she's not anything like a woman is supposed to be, quote unquote. No. It's opened his eyes.
It has.
Yeah, he's just like, the possibilities are endless.
People don't have to follow societal rules.
Right.
Live your life true to you.
Yeah.
No, I love that. And I also really like how, like, his thoughts of her are really mean most of the time, like, not just this chapter but other ones. But he's like still polite to her, and like when he talks to her, and it makes me think of that saying, your first thoughts might be conditioned to believe, but like your actions is who you are as a person. And like, he's definitely changing.
Yeah, I think we brought that up in the last episode.
Probably did. I'm still really impressed with Jaime.
Yeah, I feel like we said pretty much the same thing, but yeah, for sure. It's like, I think it's important to remember that what's in your head doesn't make you who you are. It's what you do and what you say and the actions that you perform. I think you're right that he is still thinking the mean things, but it is dwindling. It's not as much anymore. And I think your behavior affects your mind.
For sure. I think in the books, Jaime is probably my favorite character just for this total like character development. Pretty epic, but mega asshole to someone who's second guessing a lot of his life.
I feel like I have to agree. He is so fascinating to read about. This chapter was bomb. Like, nothing really happened. Like, he got in a fight with Cersei, and he like sent Brienne on her way, and he wrote something in his book, and he watched Tommen sign some documents. But still, like, it's just so interesting.
Like, the character development, like, this chapter is really showing it, that he's changing.
I think maybe it's because we see him in all these different environments. We see him with Cersei, we see him with his family, we see him with Brienne, all in this one chapter, and it's just, we really kind of feel the change in him. I also wanted to point out one thing, which you didn't mention, so I'm wondering if maybe you did not notice.
Possibly.
When Tommen was signing those pardons, one of them was for the Westerlings. They were welcomed back into the King's Peace.
I don't remember who they are. I didn't notice.
They are Jane Westerling and her family. Yeah.
Oh! Darksman.
Robb's wife and her family were welcomed back into the King's Peace.
Weren't they originally Lannister people?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So it's not like guaranteed that they betrayed Robb, but it's pretty
whole thing
sus.
a ruse?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking sus.
Oh my god. Holy fuck.
So it's possible that they just like, as soon as Robb died, they threw their hands up and they were like, yo, we just had to do what he wanted. Like, we didn't want to do this.
What can they offer the Lannisters to make them forgive them? Nothing. This is a tiny house.
Oh, you're right, though.
The Lannisters require, like, they're freaking hard as fuck because they need that fear to stay in control.
But there's also the fact that he says that they're being pardoned and they were welcomed back into the King's Peace. So that means at one point they were not in the King's Peace.
There was definitely, they chose to betray him, I guess, to, I'm assuming that Jane's brother, who went with them to the Red Wedding, was in on the Red Wedding.
Oh, God.
In fact, I'm pretty sure that must have happened. Because I cannot see why on earth Tywin would want to pardon them.
You're right. There's no way. Once betrayed, he would annihilate their whole family.
Destroy them all and then put another person to take over their lands.
That's literally like his thing.
That is his thing. That's so point of the Reigns of Castamere. But it's like one of them was in on them.
How far does this go, though? Like, did Jane never even love Robb in the first place?
Maybe Jane was innocent in it all.
That's possible, but it's also possible that she was in on it.
Oh my gosh.
Which is terrifying to think about.
That is, if the whole thing was a ruse.
Ugh. Like, my heart hurts for Robb.
Yeah, oh my god. Oh my god. This was an evil that was like completely skipped over in the show. Because it made up a new wife for him.
Yeah, and then just killed her.
Yeah.
So she didn't even have to like deal with any aftermath because she was gone. She was dead.
Oh, this is so much more horrifying than, I guess, watching a pregnant woman get stabbed. But
that's pretty horrifying, though.
It is pretty horrifying. But the betrayal, like, that is shocking. I did not notice that, and holy shit.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm horrified.
So that's a fun thing to think about.
That is the worst. Oh no. Yeah,
that really sucks. Oh man, I hope we run across them again because I want to see like what they're doing. Like, are any of them upset at all? Like, are they all just totally cool? Like, I want to see like if Jane is going to be in grief or if she's just going to be like, whew, back home again, Papa. That was an ugly detour. Had to bone that kid a few times. Like, I want to see them again, and I want to hear more about them.
Yeah, I do too. Gotta remember to keep my ears open. I mean, my eyes open.
For the Westerlings, yeah.
Goddamn Westerlings.
Bruh.
Fuck.
So there's that, and there is also just a funny thing that Jaime thinks when Cersei is talking about how Joff and Tommen were his kids or whatever. First of all, he thinks that Joff deserved to die, which is interesting.
He totally does. I remember seeing that, but I didn't feel like writing it down.
But I have a quote here. Joff was no more to me than a squirt of seed in Cersei's cunt.
Remember that stood up to me too.
Yeah. So
pretty sure he saw how fucked up Joffrey was.
And
was not proud of that.
He sees that at all. He sees that Tommen is like gentler, and but still, yeah, I don't think he only cares for Tommen as his king.
Yeah. Yeah. has no fatherly love for his children.
Yeah.
None at all.
Which, like, makes sense, but it's also just, like, kind of bizarre.
I think there are some people out there who just don't bond with kids. Just don't. And I feel like Jaime is a type who just will not, who cannot. He just wanted to bang his sister. The kids were just an after effect. Who took away his sister's attention.
Yeah, so
it's like he's like competing with the children for his sister's attention. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, that was a great chapter.
It was.
I wonder, is there going to be more Jaime? I feel like that felt like a last chapter.
Let me check. No, that's it.
Yeah, I thought so. It felt like a last chapter. Good last chapter, though. It was really good. I hope there's at least a lot of him in the next one.
Ooh, I really hope so. I want more Jaime.
Yeah. Anyway.
I want him for myself.
I'll fight you for him. Well, there's a bunch of other stuff that we could talk about, but we're at like an hour and 15 minutes, so we should probably end it here.
For sure.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want more of the podcast, please follow us on Instagram. You can follow the podcast at TIGBAB Podcast or follow us individually. My handle is Crimby and Jess's is just.egan24. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search TIGBAB Podcast or Tea is Good, Books Are Better, and we will show up there. Also, please subscribe to our good friend Bahrami on YouTube. He's the one who made our jingle, which you heard at the start of the episode, and he makes some really cool music. That's Bahram. You can also find him on Spotify as Bahrambient. That's Bahrambient. And please check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/teaisgoodbooksarebetter. We have a few different tea-themed tiers with fun rewards, including outtakes, BTS stuff, and mini-episodes in which we force our brother to watch Game of Thrones, which he absolutely hates. So it makes for some fun discussions/arguments. Finally, if you would be willing to share the podcast with your family and your friends, it would be a huge help to us to grow the podcast. Thank you so much. Next time, who do we got on the docket?
Looks like Jon Snow, Arya, and perhaps Sam.
Ooh. What the fuck has Sam been up to?
Exactly. The Arya chapter will be the last Arya.
Ah! Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Exciting. How will her chapter end?
Ooh.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.
Adios.